You're watching Queen City Collaborative Rebel Radio. I'm your host and CEO, Gwendolyn Bork. Let's not waste any time and get right down to it. Hi, everybody. My name is Gwendolyn Bork. I'm the CEO and Impact Strategist for Queen City Collaborative. This company is really where I merge my expertise as a financial advisor in the field of impact investing and really help our businesses and high net worth individuals or those who have a philanthropic objective utilize those types of principles in their business model and in their philanthropic objectives in their personal life. So this is an opportunity for me to connect with you, for us to connect with local resources that are making a difference in our community, and really for us to just continue this message of hope, social impact, cultural impact, and togetherness. And today, my guest is Nancy Eckerson. She's the owner of Write Now, like WRITE is like an author, and she's a professional writer. She writes for international magazines and newspapers. She's a featured writer for Forever Young, and she also appeared in Chicken Soup for the Soul. And she's going to talk about some of her special talents today that could help our people watching. So Nancy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So I know Nancy from NABO, the National Association of Women Business Owners, and she's a fantastic addition to our group. And it's been amazing to have her energy, her positivity, and just her talent, because it's hard as a writer to really make an actual living out of it. And I'm a published author myself. So I give her a lot of credit. I give her a lot of respect. So today we're going to let Nancy just tell us all about her different things that she does and how she could possibly help us right now as business owners and individuals who, have had to overcome and are still going through possibly one of the hardest business economic climates that our country and the world has really ever faced. So Nancy, talk to us. What do you do? How do you do it?
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. I feel honored. I am probably in the same place as many of you, having had my business shut down for months now and getting ready to rev back up again, and very excited about it. And I have given some long, hard thought to this. How can I help the people whose businesses are not going to be able to reopen? And as a former business owner of a restaurant and watching that end, I think it is ultimately important to document what you've done, whether your business is moving on or if you're not able to. So I have something called a business legacy story that I help you document, and it actually will point out the sacrifices you made to start the business, the amazing successes you featured, the effect of this whole coronavirus and what it did. What have you learned from your business? And it serves to memorialize all the effort that you put in order to create this beautiful business. And the next time around, you'll go back and refer to this and say, remember when we did this? Man, that was awesome. Let's do it again. Just to keep the hope up. You need to keep your hope up. That's the most important thing in these times, is to understand that everything happens for a reason. For whatever reason, if your business is going on and blooming, or if your business is just having to end right now, you are on the way to something great.
Yeah,
you are on the way to something grand. And I am here to help you document whatever.
I know that when we were talking about this, as business owners, and you pointed that out, it's like a baby, and you grow this and you put everything, all your resources and everything that you have into it. Everything you have goes into your business. So whether you're a third generation or fourth generation, or you started one and it couldn't make it through the worst economic crisis that we've ever faced, it's not as if you failed, because and I know it's so hard, and for us as business owners, like to think of it that way, because it didn't succeed and we can't make it through it. It's like, no, you took the steps to even do it, and that's honestly, that's success in itself. And those are like the type of things that you're going to make sure that you focus on for these people, right, Nancy?
And I think it's so important to understand from all I have learned in my lifetime that there is no such thing as failure. There's a lesson you've learned, then you move on to do the next very, very important thing in your life. So I help you document that. I help you make sure your perspective is good, whether you're leaving a business or not. If your perspective is great, then the world's your oyster. You can just go on and do amazing things, even more amazing than what you've already accomplished. And that's the effort that I want to see you put in to make sure that you have gained the very most out of this experience. Get it documented. You can refer to it anytime you need. And it's a treasure. I guess I would have to say it's a treasure. And it's probably an extremely important piece of equipment in your business. It's a tool. Okay.
Yeah, I was, when we were talking about this, I was thinking about all the different, I try to showcase businesses through this podcast that have really pivoted and adapted and showed their resiliency and their perseverance and given them a platform to get their message out, just to showcase their story, right? So we're similar in so many ways, but there's a lot of people that they're like the unsung heroes that, have done a lot of different things that aren't getting that type of media attention. And maybe they're not even looking for media attention, but they just need to know that I know what we've done and I know where we've come from. And I can't walk away from this season and try to move on without really solidifying, and memorializing, like you said, this entire experience. Who wants to just walk away from this and forget it like it never happened, when there were things that were happening on a minute-to-minute basis for these companies to, the small businesses to stay alive, to stay active, to deal with the new safety protocols, to keep their families fed. I mean, this was astronomical for people, and to just walk away and not document it and put the stamp of history in this moment of time would be foolish, right? So that's all, like, Nancy, you gotta tell everybody how you can do this,
I think one of the things I'm very excited about is I know for sure that this era we have been living through will be all over the textbooks. It will be a part of learning. It will be resourced through history and museums, etc. But none of that will have your point of view. You need to have your point of view documented as to how it affected you, your business, your family. What did everybody sacrifice in order to keep things going? What do you feel about the whole situation? And I think it's invaluable to express yourself. I mean, the people who come after you to run your business, what you're in, they're going to need to know what you went through, because there could be a hard time coming for them. And it should be documented what you did in order to do the successful work that you did. Get it documented. Let them have a frame of reference so that when the hard times hit for them, they have a point that they can go back to and say, well, hey, my grandfather made it through this. I can do it. My grandmother aced that. Look at what she got out of that. I can do that. And it's a building block in your business. And I think it's probably one of the most important building blocks in your business. I really do. I'm a firm believer in this. I know years ago when I was married, I was in a family business. And so I started doing these legacies for family businesses, because that family business, sadly enough, fell apart because they hadn't documented certain points that they needed to all agree on, certain procedures they needed to agree on. None of that was documented. So it was kind of like willy-nilly all over the place. And it ended up not surviving. So I thought, that's the one thing I know I can do to learn my lesson and move on, is to help others understand how important it is to put it down in pen and ink, to put it down in black and white. So that's one of my contributions to this life, is to try to help entrepreneurs.
Yeah, black and white, right? The pen to paper versus, new Royal Times fonts, I think
Yeah.
some of the conversations that I've even had with, some of these businesses that are maybe third generation, they were already, it was like, they've done so much already, you know, and sometimes I think, you know, and they have to shut their doors right now, and that's okay. But like you're saying, there were so many steps for them, so many choices made and values, you know, provided to have gotten them to that place. And you might not always realize it. So for all of my, you know, small business owners that were family owned and you couldn't squeeze through this. You know, some companies were lucky and they were able to get these loans and get on the map, you know, with the small business disaster relief funds and these PPE loans, and some of you were not. You know, so dependent upon just the luck of the draw, absolutely nothing that you had to do about it. You know, you did all the right things, you still didn't get it. And for me personally, I know that, you know, I'm blessed and I'm thankful I have the type of business that I do. But I mean, geez, the 2008, you know, all the feds and our government, when that recession happened and this one happened today, they had everything documented on what they did last time. They had a rule book that they used to get through this the last recession, and they went right back to that rule book to get through this coronavirus crisis. And they pulled out every single plate from the book to keep this economy going. So if you document these things and everything that you've done, you can give it to it's something left over. And it is your legacy. It's something left over for your family, for your grandkids, for your community that they can look back on and say, wow, these are opportunities for us during hard times. These are answers that we can look towards.
I also believe very firmly that if you are a second, third generation, fourth generation business, the founding fathers of that business, the founding mothers, whatever you want to say, the founding people had a story. They did not start out at a high level. They started out for whatever reason. You want to document the reason it was started. If they're still around, you can get back and talk to them and get these things down in black and white, like we said, so that future generations know what to do, but also so that you know what to do. You're going to go back and document stories that you might forget about later. And you'll be able to reference those on your next time, on your next business, on your next endeavor. You'll go back and you'll say, well, you know what? My great grandfather gave up everything in order to start this and did this, this, and this. You can follow his line of reasoning. You can follow his examples. It's like having a roadmap to get to the next place you want to be. It's a beautiful roadmap, though, because it involves you and your family and the most vital people in your life. So I think it's an awesome endeavor, and it is truly memorializing things through a legacy.
Yeah.
And I love to do this kind of thing. I'm a story girl, so learning your story is just right up my alley.
You know, what I started picturing, you know, for those that, again, you know, couldn't make it, you're the one that, you know, puts it all together, creates the storyline, and they could probably take that and even, I mean, ebooks are so easy to publish, but like ebooks, they could take that, they could publish it, an actual book on their own, and that's like a book that could get passed through like their family. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh my gosh,
Absolutely.
think about that. And then what if
That's actually go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Nancy, go ahead.
Oh, I said that's actually what I was doing. You and I talked yesterday, and I have been doing legacies also for companies that want to document everything, photographs, everything, that end up being maybe 200-300 pages. And it's amazing in those, they've got every single thing down, and they're not doing it to put it out on the mass market. They're doing it so that their family has a perfect rendition of everything that happened along the way. Pictures of their great grandfathers, pictures of the grandfathers, photos of their businesses, pictures of the garage where the business was started, whatever they have, you know, even all the advertising paraphernalia and everything. If you get pictures of that, if you just, the world, the sky's the limit when you're documenting these things, because everyone in the next generation is going to eat it up. They're going to say, wow, look what they did here. Look what they did there. Oh my God, how funny is that? The way that looks. Look at that. But it worked. It worked. So yeah. You just can't underestimate the amount of hope that you bring.
And we don't know, you know, I think for the first time in history, money couldn't save even the richest people, because this was beyond this was beyond the economic crisis came after this public health crisis. So at any time, money wasn't going to save you if you got sick with this virus and you didn't have the resources to get into hospitals or whatever. So, this hit, I think, all socioeconomic people, and at any moment, that could have been the end of you, right? And what if you hadn't done that? I know in my business, like, life insurance sales spiked, because people weren't sure. They're like, oh my gosh, I've been putting this off, but what if something happens to me? And now my business is on freeze. I have nothing to even, leave my kids or my wife. Like, it hit us on so many different levels that, if you got through it, guys, you have this opportunity to put it down in writing. And the whole purpose of even my business model for Queen City Collaborative is to utilize, cultural, social, and environmental impact, basically making a difference in helping our earth and helping our people and impacting our people on our earth. And by doing that, creating a legacy that will last forever. Your name will be on, that type of focus and those types of people forever. And you could help, provide that, closure to so many people that need to know, like, okay, the sons, even daughters, that don't even know why their parents do what they do and what mom and dad does. Like, we don't know if this is going to come back around. We don't know if it's going to come back harder, or what the next thing that could even hit us now, because I don't think anybody even saw this coming. So why not take advantage of this little breath of air, this moment of reprieve that we have, to make sure that it's written down. It's at least, like you said, black and white. It's somewhere documented, hard copy, digital copy.
Yes.
And whatever you guys do with it afterwards, let it be. But so, finishing up here, Nancy, and we're in our closing moments, like, what would be the process if we have these businesses out there that are like, yeah, I want to make sure that I have create a tribute to what I've done throughout this time, or I want to memorialize as a business what we've done all the way leading up to this moment. What do they do? Do they call you? Is it a free consultation? Do they retain you for this process? Like, paint us that picture.
Okay, they would call me. We would have a discussion about the type of business, how many years it's been open, how many generations, and then I would give them a proposal, and we would start. Just like I said, I'll have everything in place and ready to go probably by the end of July. We'll be moving and rocking. So we have a talk, we make a decision, and we just head into it.
As a person that
I will do interviews, of course.
Interviews too.
I'll be interviewing people. Yeah, I'll do interviews, and I'll actually come on site if possible. You can give me pictures to put in it. It's a story. It's just a story. It's not like a big long book right away, but it's a story. And you're talking about the great equalizer. This COVID, terrible coronavirus, is the great equalizer. And yet, what's not equal is each individual's story of how they faced it and what they went through and what the result was. So it's your chance to tell your unique story, which is very precious.
Yeah.
So I look forward to hearing from anyone who wants to do this. I think it'll be a treasure they'll never forget.
Well, Nancy, as always, I always love our time together. You just are a ray of sunshine. You're full of a lot of love and a lot of passion, and you're one of the most deep and just empathetic and compassionate and passionate individuals that I think I've ever met. So our hearts, saw each other a while ago, and we're like, I know that type of person.
Yeah.
So for those interested,
I knew your energy the minute I met you.
So for those interested, we'll have Nancy's email and phone number available to you at the end of the episode, and on all the social media posts that we do this on, and my website. And again, her company name is Write, as in like writing, WRIT, Right Now Inc. Again, she's a professional writer. She's written for international magazines and newspapers. She's been a featured writer for Forever Young. She also appeared in Chicken Soup for the Soul. So this is a woman who knows her way around words, and she wants to tell your story, to document history, the greatest socioeconomic health crisis that's ever happened to our world. So please feel free to reach out to her, guys. If you have any questions, or you need me to help you reach out to her, please get a hold of me and I will facilitate that. And hey, we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you so much for everything, and I'll be happy to answer questions anyone wants to call.
All right. Thanks, Nancy. All right, guys. Gwendolyn Bork, CEO, Impact Strategist, Queen City Collaborative, queencitycollaborative.com. We'll see you next time.